MntDewMania's here, and welcome back to Vox Populi on this stormy night. And that will teach me to fish in the rain. I'm not catching very much. Moved away from my regular spot. I'm over here by the lighthouse. Thought I'd give you something new to look at while I do my little rants. But here comes a new day, and we'll see if I can't catch anything at sunrise. And speaking of learning something, that's what this week's RedNeck Rant is about. We are going to talk a little bit about education. E is for education. So, the definition that I could find in the dictionary says that education is the act of acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers or reasoning and judgment, and generally preparing oneself for mature life. Right. Okay. That's what the dictionary says. I tend to kind of go with some of the quotes. Okay, I mean, we can talk about maturity till the cows come home, and I got my own, that you know what? I'm going to make a note right now. M will be for maturity, okay? But anyway, here's some of the quotes I found that I love them. I love them all. This was unknown. I don't know who said this. Education should include knowledge of what to do with it. A frickin' man. Oh my God. Here we go. Okay. I cannot begin to tell you how many people... See, this kind of ties into common sense, too. I know people that have 2 or 3 degrees. Bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, certificates from colleges, from, there's a cow, colleges and stuff like that. But, it's doing them nothing. They are doing absolutely nothing with the education that they got. On the other hand, I mean, seriously, how many people do you know that, I mean, you can probably think of a bunch of, famous people. I mean, come on, that quit school and still made it big. So it's not so much about the education you receive, it's kind of what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? And Mark Twain said, some people get an education without going to college. It's very true. The rest get it after they get out of college, which is also true. It's been I have 2 degrees in computers. I have several different certificates, photography, things like that. I've been a CNA. I have been a combat medic in the military. I can build a computer, but, I know people that have master's degrees in stuff, and I'm sure they got a wonderful education, but they, for whatever reason, they didn't do anything with it, or they couldn't do anything with it. And if you think about it, it's a powerful weapon. Educated people can change the world. I'm not saying uneducated people can't. That's, the more you know, the more you know. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think kind of realistically about education too. Take my son, for instance. My son, Wildfire Bird, he's 15, sophomore in high school, but he is special needs. He is like a high-functioning autistic, and he's very ADHD. He has narcolepsy, lots of health problems. So, and with his education, there are some things that I fight with teachers all the time. There are some things that he will never get. His short-term memory, his ability to remember is like Swiss cheese. Some things that stick and the rest of it just flow on through. I mean, he's in his own little world. So, and it's not going to help him in life to know about some stupid war that happened 400 years ago and all the dates and all the generals and you know what I'm saying? I'm sure that's part of whoever sat down at the children of today need to know blah 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 in order to have an education. Okay. Let me tell you something, Sunshine. I don't know what paper or desk or, where you're sitting in life and I'm sure you have a doctorate degree in just about anything, probably words I can't even pronounce with my little hillbilly self. But that ain't helping my son. You know what I'm saying? To me, that is not an education. Why are some of the things that really could help my son not part of his education? Why is it not? Why is everybody stuck in a classroom with some dusty book that some idiot wrote? I use that word idiot. Yeah, idiot. You cannot teach people and think you're shoving an education down their throat if they don't care. My son could care less about some weird war that happened 500 years ago. Is it going to help him get a job? Is it going to put food on his table? Is it going to make him mentally stronger? Teachers have these kids. How many people do you know that have graduated high school that can't read? I bet you know some. I know you know some. I know some. My daughter knows some. So don't talk to me about, well, a high school education is important. An education is important, but it has to be practical. It has to have some kind of bearing on my children's life. You know what I'm saying? And if the same boring old crap that is getting shoved down these kids' throats is not working, then, maybe y'all need to go back to whatever college you got that first degree from and get another one that says, here's some common sense stuff that we want to teach your kids to be, well-rounded and be able to work in society and be productive. And, it's kind of more suited to where you live. I live in a tiny little town in the middle of the mountains and we're very isolated. Why is, hunting and farming and wildlife and things like that not part of my child's education? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to hunt to put meat on the table. Do they need to know that in Los Angeles? Nope. Do I need to know? I'm just saying, people need to think about the education. It's like Paul Source Jr. was talking about his son going off to college. And, it's not like a traditional college. It's about outdoors. And, it was a really good video. And, it's more suited. We need more stuff like that. Instead of talking, history's wonderful if you're going to be a history teacher. That would be great. You should have all kinds of history lessons in your curriculum. But if you're not going to be a history teacher or a history major or, a budding archaeologist, then no one really cares about some, obscure war that happened 600 years ago. They could care less. It has no bearing. It does not make you a better person to know that. I don't think it doesn't make you a smarter person. Spouting off facts does not necessarily make you a smart person. Does not make you an educated person. So, most people, men are born ignorant, not stupid. They are made stupid by education. totally agree with that. That was Bertrand Russell. Okay, totally agree with that. I mean, seriously. I mean, how many people, how many you parent? I mean, or you got younger brothers and sisters and you see them struggling with stuff, and you think, why are they teaching that in school? That's not going to help anything. I mean, I go to fast food places and I go to the grocery store, and kids that just got out of high school cannot count change back to me. You've seen it, you know it. You watch them sit there and struggle. If the cash register did not tell them how much change to give me, they wouldn't know. So, okay. And a proverb about education is learning a lot about how little you know. That is the truth. That is amen all the way. You know, it's, I don't know. I'm not saying that education is a bad thing. If you have a subject that you are interested in, then absolutely you should learn everything you can about that subject. And not picking on history. I mean, some history is good to know. We need to know where we came from, so hopefully we got a kind of a better picture of where we're going. And education is a big part of that. Hopefully we have learned, well, you would think uh, by this time we would learn enough from ourselves and the mistakes we've made not to make them in the future. I doubt that very seriously. I say that with, my tongue firmly in my cheek because, I can only hope. Because we're done. We are doomed to make the same mistakes. It's sometimes you just can't educate yourself on anything. You know, because I mean, there's a proverb that says if you're planting for a year, you grow rice. If you're planting for a decade, you plant trees. If you're planning for a lifetime, you educate people. That's very true. I totally agree with that. Um, it's just, sometimes I get really frustrated about how just unfocused education is. Now, I'm not saying that about every continent and every, country and every state and every city, town, and county. I'm just saying, as a general rule, I think we're losing sight of what our kids need to know. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that it's just, and it's sad. More and more kids quit school. More and more kids get out of school that can't read, can't do simple math. You want to teach my son something good? Teach him how to do a job interview. Teach him how, you know, to look up job. Computer classes are fine if he's going to go into computers. That's wonderful. But throw some practicality in there. Gear the educational system. Hell, make it into groups. Okay, look, let's say my son's a sophomore, right? Okay, group one right here is more interested. They're going to go probably into a 4-year college, and this is what they need as part of their education to be able to do that. Okay, that's where you put that group. Okay, so that's how you gear their education, right? This group will probably go to a local college, and this one will go to technical college, and this group right here, they just want to get through high school so they can get a job, because they have to work for their family, they have to help their family out. So all I'm saying, and I'm not saying that, this group is better than this group. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying this group is smarter than this group. I'm saying gear the education to what the child needs. Don't force feed crap that is not going to help them in any way. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, this is one of those subjects I'm very touchy on as a parent. And maybe I do have a backwoods redneck look on it, but um, It's just that's just what I believe, you know. Um, Another quote I thought was really cute. Let me wrap this up. But another quote I found that I thought was really funny. When you don't have an education, you've got to use your brains. I thought that was so funny. Oh my lord. It's just, I don't know. I really get wound up about it because, well, that was great. I forgot the server was restarted. Anyway, that's a good place to wrap it up. But yeah, this is one of those things I think people are just going to go back and forth with their entire lives. But anyway, I hope you kind of, remember this is my own personal rant. This is not, anything to do with anything. Just my own personal thoughts on stuff. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and leave some comments on what your thoughts are. I would be very interested to know. So, the letter the letter E was brought to you by Eddie's Egg Shack, and hope you all enjoyed this. This is MntDewMania, and I was on Vox Populi, and I am since they're out of here, so am I. Later, guys.